Hello friends, let's talk about interview today. So IBPS SOIT means result has been declared and many of you have cleared. So congratulations to those who have cleared the exam. Also IBPS PO result has been declared few days back and many of you have cleared both the exam. So it's time for interview now. So let's talk about interview today. And if you have any question on the interview, I'm trying to address all the question in this video and we will come up with more video in coming days. But still, if you have some question or some queries, you can directly message me on Telegram. So as of now, you have cleared the written exam. So your mind would have like what to do next, what will happen in interview, what will happen in document verification process, what documents I have to produce, if I don't have any documents then what will happen, and this kind of questions. So let's discuss about document first. What documents are needed or what will happen now. So you have cleared mains. Now you will receive an interview call letter. It will be kind of admit card only from IBPS. So in the interview call letter, you will have mentioned about your interview date, interview time, and venues. So interview happens like state wise. Like if you have given your mains exam in some XYZ state, then your interview will also happen in that state only, in some city in that state. Suppose like the people who have appeared exam from Maharashtra state, so they gave mains exam from Maharashtra state, so their interview might be in Pune or Mumbai, or people who have appeared mains exam from Kanpur, Lucknow or Prayagraj, so there will be interview in Lucknow most probably. Like this, interview will happen at some nodal centers in all states. So in the interview call letter, you will have date, time, venue, as well as what documents you needed and what are the procedure you have to follow. Those things will be there in interview call letter. So once interview call letter will be available, download that and read it very carefully. So let's talk about documents. So most probably these documents will be asked. First is IBPS interview call letter, which you will receive or which you will download. Then application form printout, then semester or year wise mark sheet, certificate, degree or provisional, whatever is applicable, then class 10th and 12th mark sheet and passing certificate, then one photo identity proof, then if applicable caste certificate, EWS certificate if it is applicable to you, and if you are a working candidate working in a private sector or government sector, relieving letter or experience certificate. So if you have mentioned this in your application form, then only it's required. If you don't want to mention and you want to hide this, no need to produce any certificate. Then if you are person with benchmark disability, a medical certificate needed, and if you are working in a government organization, then NOC is needed. So most probably these documents only will be asked, but still we have to see the interview call letter what other documents they are asking. So you have to take one set of xerox and one original. However, how much xerox is needed, that will be written in call letter only. Now what if you don't have any certain document? Suppose people who are graduating this year and they don't get their degree or they have just provisional. Nothing will happen. There will be one undertaking that pro pharma will be there at the document verification center only. You have to sign that like you will produce those documents once you will join the bank. That's it. Nothing will happen. So don't worry if you don't have some document. So as of now, what you have to do, you have to try to collect all those documents which is present in this list. Whatever you don't have, take print out, and if you don't have caste certificate, EWS certificate, you have to make sure that you have this with IBPS format, in IBPS format. So collect these documents. Also, the documents list which we have to follow will be there in interview call letter, so you have to follow that only. Let's go to process. So what will happen? Yeah. So once you will reach venue, so make sure that you reach at least 15 minutes before the time mentioned. If it is from 9 a.m., you should reach by 8:40 or 8:45. Then they will ask to produce interview call letter as well as one ID proof, maybe Aadhaar card or whatever. So try to take that ID proof which you have submitted in your mains and prelims exam along with your call letter or admit card. So that ID will be checked, your call letter will be checked, timing will be checked, whether it is 9 a.m. or 1 p.m., whatever timing will be there, and they will check temperature. And once you will enter, there will be one checklist which will be given to you. That checklist will be having all the documents, and the sequence will be given. Like first you have to arrange all the documents in that sequence. It will be like firstly you have to arrange IBPS application form, then class 10th mark sheet, then certificate, 12th mark sheet, certificate, then semester wise mark sheet, certificate, then degree. Like that sequence will be given, and you have to arrange all the documents in that sequence. So documents in the sense you have to arrange all the xerox. Don't submit anything in original. If you are working and if you are submitting your work experience, those only original can be submitted. If you have some soft copy of those, then only. Like if you are in IT and if you have received your relieving letter in your email, so you can take printout from there. So you may submit that copy, that original, or what, no, not a original, color printout copy. Rest all you have to submit in the xerox only, like 10th, 12th and certificate and mark sheet. Those things you have to submit xerox only. So you have to arrange that, and then once you will arrange that, there will be biometric verification. So people from TCS will be there. They will capture your iris and fingerprints, and those verification will be done. And after that, you will be called for document verification. So what will happen in document verification? There will be one person who will be doing this verification. So that person will already have one file that will have your admit card, which you have submitted in your mains and prelims exam, not prelims, in mains exam. That admit card will be there. So what he will do, he will collect your all the documents since you have arranged, and he will match that with the checklist, like whatever document you have produced and whatever, whether it is yes or no. Like this he will fill that checklist, and if something is not applicable, he will write not applicable, and something you have not produced, he will write no, and he will take undertaking from you. And there only, since your admit card will be present there, so one sentence you would have copied in your mains exam from the screen to your admit card, that sentence he will ask you to write, and he will match handwriting there. So in front of you, you have to write that sentence also, and the handwriting match will be there. And that's all. He will make one file with all your documents, and he will verify also, like the xerox which you are submitting, he will match with original. And apart from these, if some document is required, like if somewhere, if some of the university is giving the score in CGPA, and that need to convert into percentage, and if it is not written anywhere in the mark sheet, so you need to produce some document which will show how the calculation will be done. So means anything which is supporting your eligibility, that needs to be produced in documents. So after document verification will be done, you will be going to interview, and let's see what will happen in interview. So interview can be anything. It can be whether you are technical or non-technical. It can be anything. Anything can be asked. And be assured, like interview is not for knowledge checking, because you have already cleared prelims as well as mains exam. So you have proved that you have sufficient knowledge so that you can do this job. So make sure that it is not for knowledge checking purpose. It is just your personality check or your confidence check. Like you are going to be an officer, so whether you are possessing that personality or not, that part is being checked. And also interview weightage is very less, so don't bother much about interview, but still interview plays a very important role, and you have to try to score as much as possible in interview. So in interview, what we can prepare is start about yourself. So about yourself, it can be like where you have won, your educational background, your family background, your professional background. These things you need to prepare, your hobbies and all these things need to be prepared, and prepare it at least 2 to 3 times, and practice this in front of mirror. Try to speak and make sure that it goes at least 1 to 2 minutes. Your introduction should be there. Then your family background, like what your father do, what your mother do, what is the source of income of your father, of your family income, whether you have some family business, then about that family business, about your father's employment, then about your hometown and home state, why your hometown is famous, and if something is nearby your hometown, then also it can be asked. Next is why you want to join bank. This is a very important question, especially for working candidates. and more especially the candidates who have a good experience and working on a good package in private sector, but still they are giving the exam and they're appearing for interview. So you don't have to use this word like it is a secured job or government job. Don't use this kind of word. You need to align it with your aspiration, like you are aspiring to be a banker, or you are aspiring to work in a banking sector, or it's from growth perspective, like you know that growth is very good, and kind of this. So make your own story, like what you can say here. Then it can be what values you can bring into the bank. So if why bank should hire you, you have to prepare answer for this. Next is your graduation subject. Maybe they can ask what which was your favorite subject and they can ask few questions from there. Then basic banking terminology. So it should not be like very detailed, just you should know what are the basic banking terms, like what is CASA and what is MICR and all those things. So I am trying to find out some content where we have some basic banking terminology which will be important from interview perspective. If I will find, I will share it with you. Then recent development in banking and finance sector, that is digital currency, blockchain, etc. Then about your work experience, where you are working, what work you are doing. Be very confident on this, and anyone who is working can tell what they are doing. Then very basic current affairs like days, at least on the day which in which you are going to appear for interview, you should know if there is some special day on that day or few days back or after few days. Then very basic idea about few important government scheme. Most most important like schemes in financial sector or for people's welfare. Those schemes you should know. Now what special attention we have to make in interview is don't try to be an over smart or overconfident, and don't argue unnecessarily with interviewer even if you know that yeah the person is telling you wrong and you are right. Don't argue much. Also try to answer in layman language, especially for technical question, because most probably interviewers are non-technical. If they are technical, they will ask very technical question. Apart from this, technical question can also be asked if in your panel there is someone who is technical, so they can ask technical question, so he will understand. But if all are non-technical, they will not ask very deep technical question. They will ask very basic question like what is artificial intelligence, something like that which they have heard. So you have to answer them in that language which they understand. And you have to select your words wisely, because words can be cached. If you use some word which you don't know, they can catch that word and they can again ask you some cross question from that. So you have to make sure that you don't do these kind of mistakes. Also, don't look nervous, always have a smile on your face. And regarding dress, you have to go in formals, wear polished formal shoes, and you have to wear full length socks. Don't wear short tight socks, it can show your legs, because in interview many of time it happens like there is nothing between you and interviewer. Sometime a table would be there, sometime a table would not be there. Only you will be sitting on one chair, and at a distance of 5 to 6 feet, 6 7 person will be there who will be interviewing you. So at that time you should look a very confident and very smart. If you can wear a tie, it's good. If you cannot wear a tie, no problem, don't fear. You should have a clean shaved or at least a proper covered and set beard. And for female candidate, you should wear plain clothes. There should not be very bold embroidery or some bold design, and formal footwear. So that's what a basic idea about interview. So in coming days I will make more videos like how we should answer the question, and which type of questions can be asked, and from where we should prepare for our interview, especially banking terms and all those things. So that's all for this video. So if you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.